International Film Festival The Hague.
Okay. So we had a crew which used to follow them in each state, walking for about 20-30 days in each state with them. But they also had an archival crew that filmed every day for about 2 hours for 474 days. So it's a mix of some of our footage, production footage, archival footage, and also because, you know, in documentary sometimes you're looking for something specific, then you dig deep. We had to dig through mobile clips, and it's a mixed bag of a lot of footage to be able to put it together truthfully. One of the main challenges of this was to be able to put it in a linear fashion. That was a strong decision taken by the team in the start, that we wanted to show the walk from where it started to where it ended, because it could have been very easy to go non-linear in a subject like this. But the idea was to kind of condense 474 days into 1.5 hours, so that you guys have the experience of literally walking from the southernmost tip to the north along with them. So that was, I think, the challenge of the footage while filming with them.
Thank you, Akash. And before I take the next question for audience, I have a curiosity myself.
Sir.
You, Sagar, comes from a very, very big commercial movie industry, Mughals of Bollywood, Bombay. How did you
Not
get involved?
Mughals, but we're part of it.
Figuratively speaking, you are one of the biggest commercial production house. How did you get involved in this kind of documentary?
So actually, my background as a creative producer and as a producer has been with a lot of television. I also come from doing a lot of broadcast, so which is non-fiction, factual. So I've worked in the non-fiction space quite a bit, and I always wanted to do a documentary feature. You know, as a filmmaker, you always want to do a documentary feature, and this was the year 2013. When I met Sri M, and he told me that he's going to be undertaking this enterprise. And that's when I said that, okay, I want to be a part of this in some way, I want to contribute in some way. And I said, okay, this is it, let's attempt to make the docu-feature on this subject. We were not very sure, to be very honest with you. When we started out, we were not very sure. It was just me, a very close friend of mine, and another friend, 3 of us with 3 cameras standing in the middle of this peace march of 3,000 people. We really didn't know how to film it. We really didn't know whether this would be a film, whether this would be a documentary. But we just stepped in, and as the walk progressed, so did our narrative, so did our filming. If you see in the start, we were trying to find our footings as well. And slowly, we kind of figured out how to film them, because it was actually very difficult to film someone who's walking very fast in front of you. And you don't get a second chance, especially if you're racking focus. No retakes. And it's a big crowd of about almost 80 to 100 people who walk by, and they were walking really fast. I mean, I don't know if it comes on camera, but in real life, they were walking really fast. So to be able to keep up with them, to complete your shot, and then you go follow them again in front. So it was a challenge, but I think eventually we found the narrative. It took time. It took some time, but we finally found the narrative of the film and what it tries to say.
Thank you. It may not join us here. He joined, you may have seen his footage, and so did our advisor, Yusur. She had the opportunity to walk, and then later on organized the Hague walk. Yes, next question, please. Okay. Yeah, Vijayendra.
Really beautiful documentary, by the way.
Thank you.
It was very touching.
Thank you.
Maybe I missed the point that you made, but from a narrative level, did you already have a certain script in mind that I want to cover these points to tell a certain narrative, and how did you overcome certain things that you couldn't shoot, let's say if they were walking past or if something else was happening?
Interesting question. No, we did not have a script in place at all. We didn't know whether this would, how would this pan out. So in general, in documentaries, one of the things you start shooting, and then when you later on sit down, you try and find the actual story, the most objective story of what happened. So after we had the footage, this was about after 1.5 years of the walk, we sat down with the team and we scanned through all the footage and we tried to find the story, as it's called, what actually happened. We did a lot of research calls with all of the walkers who walked. We logged all the footage. And that was quite a learning for me as well, because, you know, for the first time, what changed the perspective, to coming to your point, is that for the first time, when you're a part of something, you know, you're seeing it from a very in-depth perspective. But when you look at it taking a step back, when we saw the footage, we were able to look at it taking a step back. We could see the magnitude of this movement from a grassroots movement of about 80 to 100 people to touching 10 million lives in India. And we said, that's the story.
Great.
You know, that was the story, which we said, let's focus on that.
Thank you, and that's about the time we were allotted for the Q&A.
Thank you.
session.
No,
Is
we'll
there
sit
any
down.
last-
We can
last
sit down
point?
outside. I'm right here. Happy to have a coffee with any one of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Akash, for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the festival, and thank you all very much for watching the film. I really appreciate you all being here this morning. Genuinely, thank you once again.